Deltarune. It's a game I enjoy quite a bit. Very fun. Only first 2 chapters have released so far. And there's been a pretty large gap between when chapter 2 came out and now, which is chapter 3 and 4 are going to release in probably like a month or 2. Which has, like, that time period has left a lot of space for people to theorize about stuff that is going to happen in the game. And nobody has questioned the identities of some characters, because it's just them. However, we would all just naturally think of Noelle. Like, that's just Noelle. But I doubt that. So, obviously she is connected to Jesus. Like, that's the entire, like, half of her character. It's just either lesbian or Jesus and Christmas, you know? And, yeah, like, there is the thorn ring. She was crucified on the hand of Queen's Mech. Her entire family based around Christmas. Like, just her whole character is designed to be Christmas, you know? Like, she's a reindeer. Another character who is related, who can be related to Christmas, is Papyrus. It's not as obvious, maybe not as intentional either. That's not what I'm focusing on. But there is some potential for it. He lives in the snowy area, which, you know, Christmas in the wintertime. Gets cold. Snow. There's Christmas lights on his house. Which, I mean, I think just kind of fits the area in general. But, like, yeah, I mean, snowed in the town. There's a Christmas tree in the center. And something nobody ever brings up is the fact that after you spare him, he walks on water. This is interesting, because Papyrus, could be Jesus. Like, okay, because the whole thing started as a joke. That's where that ended. Just here. But there's a lot more about this. So, another thing that can be related to Papyrus, intentionally, obviously, is all of the puzzles. Because, like, that's, you know, before Snowed in Town, just going through Snowed Forest, that's pretty much wherever you'll see Papyrus is when he's telling you about the puzzle that you're gonna have to solve. And he thinks that they're gonna be so hard, you're not gonna be able to figure out how to do them. But they end up being trivially easy. Another character who serves this same sort of purpose is Rule's Card. He vandalizes the signs of some puzzles, so it's harder to do. He's very, like, he's, you know, the way he speaks is very, like, his ego is very high about himself. Like, he trying to do Old English, speak that way, but yeah, when he gets flustered, he just drops it. And the puzzles he makes are just, you push a box onto a button. That's really it. And there have been several points, too, where he's about to show something, but doesn't. The first in Card Castle, when he talks about a better, bigger, just all-around superior puzzle after the second box one in the castle already. And then Rouse asks if we can see it, to which he responds, no, and goes off. The second time, after you defeat him in the acid tunnel, when he's doing this whole thing, oh, he's powering up, but then he just turns into stone. So he might be, like, incredibly powerful, you know? Because he doesn't actually do any fighting in that battle. It's like the boxes, and it's the thrash machine. Which that doesn't, like, that's not him. That's, like, he's controlling that, but it's not him, you know? And then the final thing about Papyrus that I'd like to bring up, for now, just to begin with, is spaghetti. That's the thing that he cooks. Undyne has taught him how to cook spaghetti, and that's just all he makes, because, yeah, he's not really good enough to eat, like, he's not fit for royal guard. Which that is also a thing with the puzzles, you know? Because rules, part of royalty in the Card Kingdom, and Papyrus trying to join the royal guard. Which, just no similarity, not really relevant to spaghetti, but yeah. And the spaghetti, there's only one appearance of spaghetti in Deltarune, and that is an item, the spaghetti code, which says, the description of it, it says that it was made of macarons and ribbons, and when Noelle eats it, she says that it reminds her of one of her sweaters. So, Noelle and the spaghetti code, which it's made of ribbons, and the other ribbon items, when equipped onto Noelle will say something about them. It feels familiar or nostalgic. Now, that would obviously connect to Noelle's earlier childhood. And that will very easily go into the disappearance of Des. So, in Burleigh's flashback to the spelling bee, they're very young children, maybe like 5 to 7-ish, around there probably. And that's when Noelle loses to the word December. She's unable to spell it, which she froze up because that's her sister, and she's like gone. She's like gastered or whatever. So that was very early in her life, which the ribbons also could have been. Very likely were. And Des being gastered, all 3 characters mentioned already, Papyrus, Rules, Noelle, all connect to Gaster in some way. So Noelle, her sister, probably a similar fate to Gaster, being stuck in some kind of fluid. Papyrus, there's a lot of speculation about Papyrus and Sans being connected to Gaster. The name, Dr. W.D. Gaster, WD most likely stands for Wingdings, because that's the font that Gaster speaks in. And Sans uses Gaster Blasters, which many think that that's what Papyrus' special attack was. We don't know what it was. It would have been. But yeah. Like, just... So he has something. He has power we don't know about. Rules has power we don't know about. We know about Noelle's power, like in Snowgrave. And... Rules. There's not as many, but very similar in the face and like the mouth. Definitely mainly more connected to the other two, but it's still kind of there. So, Gaster is very powerful, or like, not powerful, but he's very important to Deltarune, and he has a role that kind of goes even outside of the actual game. I mean, the first version was called Survey Program, which most likely, I feel like there's a lot of stuff that Gaster could be behind, you know? The Survey Program, he was on the Undertale Deltarune Twitter page, he was tweeting stuff before the game came out. He, the first person you hear from in the Connor Maker. We don't actually know if any of that is Gaster, but the speech patterns all line up to entry 17, which is in room Gaster. So, most likely is. And all of these characters have some sort of power, you know? And that has led me to believe that Papyrus could be some sort of god in the Deltarune universe, who could be working with Gaster, maybe above Gaster. His power, he's shown to have, there's been hints of him being more powerful than a lot of characters in Undertale. We haven't seen him in Deltarune. We've seen Noelle and Rules, but like that, it's not actually confirmed. But like, okay, yeah. So previously stated, can just walk over water. He in the Geno route, when you hit him, his head falls off and his body turns to dust. He's still talking, like it's coherent speech. So he can presumably function with only his head. And in Pacifist, when everyone gets together, everybody has 2 vines except for him. It was like 4, I think. And most would just say it's cause he's really big. You know, he's tall compared to everyone else. But Asgore is like just as tall, so is Toriel. And Asgore is like 5 times wider than him. And it's just 2. So, yeah, this power goes back to a god. And that could be the angel, potentially. Which would just be the god of the religion that the people in Hometown subscribe to. Which, like, it's very close to Christianity, because they have, like, a church, and then there's, like, an angel, which is very, like, it's that angels are in Christianity, but that's like their god. So it's not exactly Christianity. Also, because in chapter 2, when Gerson is in the graveyard and you talk to him about Azrael, he says that there is no sin or confession in the religion, so not Christianity. But yeah, very well could be that. So it's like, kind of maybe God. Now, we didn't discuss rules that much, so we're gonna go back to him. In his shop, when you ask about him, he lists some of his hobbies, one of them being cages. And Papyrus also has made multiple like, cage-esque. It's a series of parallel bars that are meant to contain. So, could be that as well. And if Papyrus is both Noel and Rules simultaneously, because we haven't seen either of them at the same time, except for in chapter 2 when you're in the light world. But this could potentially be explained by him leaving and just putting the card in there, because it's just a card. We don't actually see that it's Rules. It's a Rules card, but not actually Rules himself. And that would kind of make sense with the whole thing, especially because Papyrus is a sillier character, and I think, like, he would probably be sillier if he's revealing it, you know, because it's still just Papyrus. And I feel like, you know, it's like, but you were in my pocket and I was talking to Noel, and it would be like, I only put another card in your pocket, or whatever, like that. Something like that, you know? So that would kind of be there. Additionally, because their personalities between all three of them are drastically different, but if he's able to completely disguise his appearance and voice, I believe he could just act differently too. And now, okay, like, to kind of put everything together now. So, Noel is very heavily connected to Jesus. So is Papyrus. Papyrus is an aficionado of puzzles. So is Rules. Spaghetti Code is made of macrons and ribbons, which ribbons go back to Noel through various ribbon armors, which she says they feel familiar or nostalgic, something like that, which would go back to her earlier childhood. And in her earlier childhood, whatever event caused Des to disappear, or just, like, yeah, that happened, when Noel was younger. And that is a similar fate to Gaster. And Gaster, connected to all three of them again, just stated, similar appearance to Rules, kind of weaker there, I will admit, and the Gaster Blasters, and Sans' scientific endeavors, and then Papyrus potentially having that, as well as the fonts, and Mystery Man, who is maybe Gaster, probably a piece of him, does also kind of have the white face with, like, you know, he has, it's like white face, and then just black for eyes, and then little white dots there, which is the same as Sans. And yeah, they are all very powerful and strong, because Noelle, Snowgrave, she can break the game. She's called Angel, which the angel is just an almighty being in this universe. And Rules has something we haven't seen yet, and Papyrus has a special attack, and also it's just like he's godlike. He's just like the angel, and all of that kind of connects into Papyrus being behind Deltarune. It's just a bunch of coincidences that lead to other coincidences. And like, this isn't meant to be taken seriously, and I'm only putting this at the end and at the beginning because I think it would be fun to get like just a few rage bait comments, you know. But yeah, as I said like earlier in the video, this started just some random Papyrus walking over water. It's not even walking on water. He's just like, levitating in the air. Which, I mean, it's just a joke. It's not like actually meant to be some crazy lore thing. If any of this is remotely close to what actually happened, I'm going to just be absolutely floored. Like, this is the only theory that I've made